Thank you, thank you. Please, please. Enough, enough. I know you're glad to see me again, but... Hi everyone, how you doing? Please, please. Okay, okay. It must be. Now that's what I call music time. Guess what number we're on now? 45. Woo, woo. We have made it into the 21st century with a volume that was first released in April 2000, the very first one of the noughties. We've gone all the way through the 90s, and before that we went most of the way through the 80s. And just to show my own sort of changing relationship with the nows, when the first one came out, I would have been 9, I think. By this point, I'm 25. So I've gone all the way through in terms of demographic. And I do find that quite interesting. Nows just carry on and carry on and carry on. But we're all getting older. So every single now that comes along, we're all that much older. The pop stars are that much younger, like the policeman. Gabrielle, though, she's been around throughout the 90s. Her first appearance, I'm just trying to work it out. Would it have been now 24? Maybe now 25? Back in 93 with Dreams. She's been a consistent present throughout. She's had her real moments, like Give Me Just a Little More Time. She's never really had any weak points. I think the weakest is when she teamed up with E17, but that was them that made it weak, not her. Now, interesting tidbit about this one, Rise. As you probably noticed, it actually borrows a bit of backing from Bob Dylan, Knocking on Heaven's Door. She sent him a demo of this as a work in progress, and he was so impressed with what she was doing that he said she could use the sample for free. Just give him some co-songwriting royalties. So technically, it's a collab between Gabrielle and Bob Dylan. He was well aware of what she was doing, gave his approval, which is pretty good, really. And it makes a good start to the new year, and a new decade, and a new millennium. Unfortunately, this high standard isn't really kept up. Mel C's next with Never Be the Same Again, featuring Lisa Left Eye Lopez, whose band TLC haven't made a now just yet, even though they've been around throughout the 90s. It's adequate. I had another listen, but it wasn't very memorable. Mel C's stuff's all well and good, but it's just a bit lacking in kind of personality and oomph. Craig David makes his now debut, although it wasn't his first chart debut, with Fill Me In. Craig David would go on to be one of the first 21st century pop stars. And it's certainly a kind of new kind of pop star, I suppose. New kind of beats. Bit like what we were saying with Jordan Knight last time. Definitely a new kind of rhythm going on there in the kind of R&B world. As for the actual song, it's a bit lacking, really. Ditto, Born to Make You Happy, Britney, not one of her most famous. I take her on a song-by-song basis if they're good, like Hit Me Baby, then I'll sing its praises. This one, just Born to Make You sort of mediocrely happy, really. And that is followed by the Backstreet Boys, who I never talk about, Show Me the Meaning of Being Lonely. That is followed by a rather nice one by Lena Marlin. Not really that well known now. Do you remember Sitting Down Here? Sitting Down Here by Lena... Is it Marlin or Martin? Sorry, Lena Martin. Where did I get Marlin from? That's a kind of bird, isn't it? Lena Martin. I think she was Norwegian or something. Yeah, it was a rather nice kind of folky song. So that one gets a pass. Now, it's the second cut from Tom Jones's Reload album. Last time we featured him and the Cardigans. Here he is with the Stereophonics. Mama Told Me Not to Come. It's another old song because it's an album full of covers. And was it, what were they called? Free Dog Night or something? Is it the original? Yeah, Free Dog Night. 1970, the original. This pretty good version. Tom's doing his normal OTT kind of stuff. Stereophonics give it a good kind of band backing. Yeah, really good album this. I really like how he's kind of worked with the different bands. And there's one more to come, which we'll come on to when it turns up. Meanwhile, Shania's back with Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Good song title, definitely. It is Lena Marlin. It's another misprint from Manals. Yeah, you always just check your facts. Lena Marlin, I thought it was, but it says here, Lena Martin. It's Lena Marlin. Sorry, confusing people. Right, Man, I Feel Like a Woman, Shania Twain. Yeah, that's confusing as well. I think I understand it. Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Yeah, good wordplay. It's a good kind of glammy country song, very popular, wedding discos and stuff. One of her best. Good stuff. Bag It Up, Jerry Halliwell. Nah, not interested. Okay, S Club 7, You're My Number One. Children's song again. Ask the kids what they think of it. For me, it's adult ears. It sounds okay. Yeah, it's a good sort of upbeat kind of song. It's fit for purpose. Right, a very strange one now. Really don't know what to make of this one. Aqua, Cartoon Heroes. It's certainly weird and it's certainly different. It's not just a straight novelty song. It's kind of novelty-ish. But as with all Aqua stuff, there's a lot more going on. The weirdest thing about this is that the guy actually reminds me of the guy from The Residents. It's kind of a duet between the girl, the Barbie girl, I forget her name, I should look it up really, and the guy who sort of goes, "Come on, Barbie, let's go party." In this, he sounds like the guy from The Residents, which is the most weird thing ever, like one of the most underground experimentals and kind of anonymous bands who literally cover up their own identities. And every song they do sounds like people being murdered and stuff. Somehow they sound like Aqua, or Aqua sound like them. Just the guy's voice. As for the rest of the song, it's in the kind of post-Tampere kind of mould. It's got that kind of Tampere beat. Quite kind of dramatic in the vocals and in the melody and stuff. Very kind of superhero-y with a name like Cartoon Heroes. What do you expect? And we follow that one up with... In fact, I think I'm going to play it because I've got nothing else lined up right now. Cartoon Heroes, yeah. This is followed up by the Venga Boys, and let me get this right. Sha-la-la-la-la. It's another old 70s song. It was a really obscure one. I don't even think it was a hit in England. It was like a German band or something. What were they called? It's very glam, and it's very different from the Venga Boys. Because it's not their normal sound. It's more of a kind of 70s cover, really. The Walkers, that was it. The Walkers. Sha-la-la-la-la. Yeah, I give credit to the Venga Boys for trying something a bit different. It's totally... I would have said it's totally unknown now, but then I looked at the stats and saw it had 20 million. So there's still an awful lot of people sha-la-la-la-la-la-ing along. Okay, ooh, stick you, Daphne and Celeste. Daphne and Celeste, ooh, fuck you. It's awful. It's another one like Lolly. It's just horrible, this sort of stuff. I don't know where it was. Why in the year 2000, when the internet is taking over and music is becoming more and more possible to sort of really do stuff with computer technology and digital recording techniques, why are we reverting to kind of 70s novelty shit? So fuck you, Daphne and Celeste. Sorry if you like it. Sia, Atomic Kitten, not too bad, but really wouldn't want to be her. Right, okay, Don't Call Me Baby, Madison Avenue, that one's half decent. It's kind of almost paving the way for things like Spiller and Groovejet that would follow it. Sorry, this guy just reminds me of a guy from The Residents. It's amazing. Don't Call Me Baby. Right, Martine McCutcheon, Love Me. Meh. Steps, Say You'll Be Mine, not one of their most famous. Honeys, meh. Precious, meh. That's an awful lot of meh songs. Montel Jordan, Get On It, Get It On Tonight. It's hardly This Is How We Do It, but at least it's not too bad. Fierce, Sweet Love, meh. It was an old song by Anita Baker MB had done a pretty good drum and bass jungle version of it. This one really adds nothing. Boyzone, Every Day I Love You More, meh. I should point out, by the way, this volume's got 45 songs, so it's more songs than ever. I wonder if that's deliberate, 45 45s on now 45. But really, there's an awful lot of filler. Okay, the fact that Bryan Adams is a standout, that really says something. It's teamed up again with Chicane, Don't Give Up. And yeah, more, quote, computerized crap, unquote, from Bryan Adams. Not too bad. Okay, it's time for another dance classic now. Finally. And it is Tokka's Miracle by Fragma. I think this was actually a mashup of two songs. It's mainly well known for this. Let's get the right version. Yeah, right. So I really want Fragma and Coco, Tokka's Miracle. That's it. This was a big song. Let me just get the details of exactly who did what. Because I know it was some kind of mashup of two different things. So her name's actually Coco Star, not Coco Pops. Formidable looking lady. So in fact, I Need a Miracle, just on its own, it entered the charts at 39 in 97. And this is a mashup of this, Tokka Ma by Fragma and I Need a Miracle by Coco. But yeah, good club song. Lots of different mixes of it, so make sure you get the right one. This isn't the one that I was thinking of. Okay, well, it'll do. This, yeah, right, this is the 208 version. I do want to play a bit of it. Third time lucky. Now that's just Fragma, Tokka Ma. I think I'm going to have to admit defeat here. I've played every component of it. Which one's this? Yeah, that's Tokka Ma. But this one doesn't have the vocals. So you really got to get the right version here, and it might well be that the Now is the one that's got all the components. Right, The Time Is Now by Moloko. Decidedly less clubby than Bring It Back, Sing It Back. But it's more like the Moloko sound of being Moloko. Really, really good song. Rashin Murphy's really interesting vocal style. Yeah, that's a really good song. The Time Is Now. Okay, I love it when these nows get good after they've been shit. You really notice it. And I do sometimes think like they kind of put the better stuff on the second half. Maybe it's a matter of taste. Maybe it's just a case of the big hitters go first, and then you get more interesting stuff as you kind of break it down. Here's one that was a massive hit, straight from the underground. Now, a little tidbit about this one. Yep, it's the Artful Dodger and Craig David back again, although this was actually his first appearance in the charts. I was working in a recording studio, and this kid came in, he wanted to do a garage tune. Just a few weeks before this came out, or before I was aware of it, and he had this thing, rewind, the crowd stable selector, and we were working on a tune with that in it as a sample, way before I'd heard this. And then one day he came in and he was looking really ashen-faced, and he said, "Oh, we can't use that sample anymore." I was like, "Wow, that's really good." He goes, "Yeah, I've been threatened. Basically, there's a big hit with it on coming out, and I've been asked not to put mine out because I don't know how it happened anyway." So we pulled it, and next thing you know, it's in the charts. Could have been me, woo! Except I'd have probably been sued or something. Anyway, yeah, and this song really, obviously on a pop culture thing, there was a whole comedy show called Bo Selector, Avid Merion and stuff, and the Craig David character. So in a way, he became a comedy character very, very early on. But we can't deny this is good music. It's a good combination of garage and R&B. Pretty representative of the good stuff of 2000. We follow it up with similar ilk, DJ Luck and MC Neat with a little bit of luck. Yep, that's good stuff. More in the same vein as this. And we follow that one up with another big song. There was a really good garage mix of it, actually, but I'll try and just find the original. It's Cisco, and you know I work in IT because I tried to spell that Cisco. It's Sisqo, and the thong song. Nothing to do with routers. I don't think it's Cisco. You never know. A lot of old hip hop people went into investment in IT. Yeah, pretty epochal song. You've got all those strings, that kind of baroque sound, with this new style of kind of jumpy, post-garagey R&B beat. Who else is due to coronavirus quarantine? Who else just randomly started listening to old music? Yeah, why is this song so dramatic? He sang this song like his life depended on it. And that's what I love about it. Who's still listening to this song in 2020? He makes this thong, this article of clothing, like almost metaphysical in its importance. Cheeky references to Living La Vida Loca. 106 million views. Yeah, I really like this one. It is maybe a bit crass, let me see your thong. But, you know, what's wrong with that, really? You know, yeah, I really like it. Kind of jumping around in the seats with it. So, that's Cisco. Another surprisingly good one, Jamelia featuring Beanie Man. Kind of baroque R&B with quite heavy, kind of big, almost orchestral sounds in it. Surprisingly good. Now, one that I'm not very keen on, but I do acknowledge, Kelly's caught out there. She'd go on to do stuff that I really, really like, and I'm sure we'll be coming on to her again. But what I just hate that, I hate you so much. She just sounds like a toddler, like a 3-year-old stamping her feet. And it's like, grow up. So I'm not a big fan on Caught Out there, but I do, all in all, like Kelly's. Okay, barely 5 songs later, the Artful Dodger are back. I think they're moving a bit too fast here. They should have slowed down a bit. See what I did there? Let's not forget Romina Johnson. Yeah, moving too fast. Very classy, soul-y garage. Classic song, really. In Your Arms, Rescue Me, New Generation. Well, it's the Fontella Bass one, isn't it? A classic old Motown song, or Northern Soul, if not Motown. Kind of big beated up. It's adequate. Such a good sample. If you don't totally screw it up, not really going to go wrong. So yeah, good stuff. Okay, now another one I'm going to play, because I'm a big fan of them. Basement Jaxx, and it's another cut from the Remedy album. I think it was about the 4th cut, and Bingo Bango. And yeah, it's fairly underground, really. It's not too commercial, but it's got a kind of Latinx carnival sound going on, which was still pretty big at this time. No, that's Red Alert. Sorry. Oh, Bingo Bango. We did that one last time. Bingo Bango. There we go. I hope you don't mind my accidentally playing a wrong song sometime. I think it's quite funny in a kind of Alan Partridge way. Like I said, I could really slick these out. And if I ever made any total boo-boos, I'd stop and be re-editing. I just find it quite funny when the wrong song comes on sometimes. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, where were we? Bingo Bango. Okay, now this is followed by Killer by ATB. Hey, it's the Adamski song, and Seal. And it's a pretty respectable version of it. ATB, they're like a fine wine. They seem to get better with every release. Sash, he won't go away. You know, he went a bit shit. He's come a bit better again. He's kind of treading water here. It's a Sash song with an accordion on it. That's Adelante. Okay, another interesting one now. Watergate. And now it's called here Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. But I think most trance fans know it better as Heart of Asia. And I believe it's called Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, because the music was originally of that ilk, from the film of the same name by Ryuki Sakamoto, who was in the Yellow Magic Orchestra. And in fact, one of my friends played me the original, and I was like, oh, I recognise that. That's been tranced up. Yep, that's what they've done. So if you like the original music, it's Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence by Ryuki Sakamoto, and the trance version, Heart of Asia by Watergate. It's another one where the 12-inch is probably better than the now version. Has a bit of a kind of silly vocal on it. But, yeah, it's all right. Now, talking of weird vocals, everybody, Progress and the Boy Wonder. I think it might have been Judge Jules. It was a weird song. It was quite big beaty again. I don't know how big a hit it was. I'm just trying to find out where all the samples came from it. I might even stick it on. Yeah, that's right. It was thingy, Madonna, Papa Don't Preach. And also, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That was it. It was the monologue from that, or Mr. Harding's monologue. So, bit of a mashup there. Madonna meets Ken Kesey. And yeah, interesting song. Everybody, Progress meets the Boy Wonder. Okay, it's hard house classic time now. Shall we stick it on? This is one of those few moments where the overground and the underground converge. A really good underground song, just so popular that it makes it onto the pop chart. Again, you got to get the right mix. I will always go for the long club mix. Loads and loads of different mixes to this. Lock and load, blow your mind. Yeah, good stuff. Banging rave tune, really. Followed by Big Girl, Precocious Brats featuring Kevin and Perry. Does that make Harry Enfield's first appearance on a Now album? It's not Kathy Burke's, that's for sure. She was on Lena Nini Nunu. Yeah, I think it was actually from the movie. And it's weird. It's kind of taken sounds and bits of vocals from them, but it's actually a fairly credible tune. I quite like it. Precocious Brats, Kevin and Perry, Big Girl. Okay, Tampera and Myra back with Hammer to the Heart. If you buy this record, Your Love Better was a bit meh. This one's actually way better. It's almost as good as Feel It. It's still got the Feel It Tampera sound, which I'm surprised how many acts, even Texas and Steps, have kind of used. I think it's kind of based on ABBA, Gimme, 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 like Madonna did a few years later. But they have actually tweaked it a bit. It's not like totally blatant. And it's actually a pretty good song, yeah. Vocals are good. So, good stuff. Tampera and Maya. Now, God only knows what to make of this next one. Cuban Boys, Cognoscenti versus Intelligentsia. I often talk about novelty songs that have a bit of intellect to it. This almost seems to be going one further, and it's taking the piss out of people who take the piss out of novelty songs, I think. So you've got people who make novelty songs that are kind of ironic. I believe this is actually now ironic about ironic novelty songs. I'm getting lost. Am I in the cognoscenti? Am I in the intelligentsia? Or am I just a hoi polloi? It's very much like something that was probably formulated over a dinner party. Almost like Tony Hawk's, if you've ever read One Hit Wonderland. I don't know what to make of it. It's even too meta for me, because it does end up sounding like Alvin and the Chipmunks, some squeaky, hamstery kind of sound. I don't think anyone would ever play it. So I really don't know what to make of it. I don't really want to out and out criticise it, because it's obviously like they know what they're doing and they're doing it for a reason. But that stopped suddenly, didn't it? Okay, Robbie Williams, It's Only Us follows. Pretty strong song from Robbie. And now one I'm going to play because it's their first appearance on a Now. I wouldn't say I'm one of their biggest fans, but I always like to acknowledge pop culture. And I think this is really now the noughties coming into their own. So we have to acknowledge it there. It's Blink 182 and their first appearance. And I think it's good to have a bit more guitar music back because it seemed to be dying a natural. The Britpop era is now over. And now America's leading the way in terms of bringing us in the UK, leading guitar music. 247 million views. That's like 250 million. That can't be wrong. And after the Hamster Boys, it's Hamster Boys. Cuban Boys, you know what I mean. Fucking hamsters. Literally, probably. No, don't go there. Yeah, Blink 182, all the small things. Right, okay. Now, two more songs. And no sooner has this come along with a bit of quality. And Moby and Natural Blues. One of the standouts from an incredibly popular album. This is from the Play album. And yeah, this is a real typical example of what Moby was doing at this time. Sorry, guys. And it's had 31 million views. Natural Blues. So basically, Moby, he's done all sorts, and we're worlds away from Go, which was his first Now appearance. We're worlds away from the James Bond theme, which is also on a Now. Now we're going kind of blues, gospel, with a very light breakbeat over it. Some people call it cultural appropriation. I don't think it is. As I've said before, when there's respect and actual real kind of affection and affinity for the music you're using, and you're just jamming with it and using it to kind of jam with, I don't think that's cultural appreciation. Appropriation. I think Moby really, really got off on this stuff and really added something to it. Very striking video as well. Definitely heartfelt. Yeah, this really takes me back now. Nice. And this is followed by Imagine by John Lennon, which was, I think, kind of remastered by Yoko. Perennial song. Love it or hate it. I love it because I love John Lennon. But I'm well aware, as I have discussed when the Julian Lennon stuff came up, that, you know, John was not all sweetness and light in his private life. He was a conflicted individual. But as a piece of music and as a sentiment, Imagine. The only thing I'm not sure about there is Imagine No Religion. You know, I understand there's problems with religion, but I think it's also done a lot of good. And I think it's a natural part of humanity. So, you know, Imagine No Religious excess, definitely. But let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. You really saying Imagine No Buddhism? Imagine No Hare Krishna? I think George might argue with that. But that would be churlish to complain. Now, how did we get to discussing Hare Krishna? 5 minutes ago, we were discussing hamsters. That's pretty much where Now 45's at. It's across the board, that's for sure. The first side is pretty shit. The second side's pretty good, all in all. So it's definitely an album of two halves. Bearing in mind now that we've got literally an extra third, I think, or half from the originals. Now One had 30 songs, this has 45. So it's like another half of Now One all over again. So the way I would judge this one would be to cross off your worst 15 songs, whatever you like, and then look at the 30 that are left and see how that stacks up against Now One. I reckon I can get a good 20 songs out of this. So on balance, I'd say it's a fairly good volume. But because there's so many songs, inevitably there's 15 at least that are shit. What's good and what's lasting? Well, Gabrielle, Rise, I think that was one of her best songs. The fact that Bob Dylan liked it, if he likes it, then, you know, it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. Craig David, not one of his best songs to fill me in, but I guess, you know, welcome to him coming in. It was Lena Marlin, not Lena Martin. But it's not very well known either way. Tom Jones and the Stereophonics, Mama Told Me Not to Come. I think people still listen to that. Shania Twain, Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Definitely. Then there's a lot of forgotten ones. Even the ones that are adequate, like Cartoon Heroes, they've forgotten. Madison Avenue, Don't Call Me Baby. Vaguely, maybe. Okay, it really takes up till side 2. And probably maybe Chicane, Don't Give Up, certainly Talker's Miracle, Fragment, if you can find the right version of it. I think Moloko, The Time Is Now, still pretty well known. Rewind, absolutely. In terms of pop culture, the crowd say both selector, absolutely. I think A Little Bit of Luck, still fairly popular. The Thong Song by Cisco, definitely. Caught Out There, I don't like, but it's good to have Kellis on here. She will grow up. Moving Too Fast, Artful Dodger, yep. Bingo Bango, Basement Jacks, yep. I think trance fans, like, they'll call it Heart of Asia, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, Watergate. Blow Your Mind, Hard House, and Beyond, Lock and Load. Then Blink-182, All the Small Things, Now Getting Into Rock. Natural Blues, Moby, and of course, Imagine, John Lennon. So there we go, bit of a curate's egg, but there's so many songs, you can at least get 20 good ones out of it. So welcome to the 21st century. Welcome to the third millennium, and we'll be back next time with Now 46. See you later.